Hello, everyone. My name is Arun Sundaresan. I'm the head of product management at Nippon India Mutual Fund, one of India's largest asset management companies. So today, I wanted to talk to you about the benefits of investing in international funds. So I would explain to you why it merits considering investing into these funds, and also give you some technical aspects about markets and what factors needs to be considered, and so on and so forth. Funds, what exactly are they? So these are funds where you can invest in Indian rupees, and that money will eventually get invested into a foreign market. Depending on the nature of the fund, it could be in US, it could be in Japan, Europe, China. There are various kinds of such international funds. Now, all of us have a fair bit of understanding about our markets. We may not have so much about these markets. Therefore, you may be wondering, how do I go about it? What benefits will I get? What could be the risk, and so on and so forth. I'll just international markets. The first and foremost is, even though you invest, let's say, in a equity fund, an international equity fund, and you think that ultimately these are all equity, why should I invest into some other equity? Let me tell you that many markets tend to behave very, very differently from how Indian markets behave at various points in time. A good case in point is the recent past and the last 1 year. The last 1 year, today as we speak, our markets are down minus 15%. And mid caps and small caps could be down even more. Whereas if you look at US, Japan, for example, they're actually in the positive territory, anywhere between 5 to 10%. So if you look at the difference between India and some of these markets, is almost 20% in the last 1 year. So essentially, what we are talking about is, a lot of times when markets can behave differently, if you have investment also into international funds, it will help diversify your portfolio. Your overall returns can get much better. Your risk also can get mitigated. It is not just because of this coronavirus, and the last 1 year has been very different. Obviously, it has been exceptional, but there are several times in the past where returns have been very different. Again, 2019, for example, the last year, the coronavirus part, Jan to December 2019, our markets were flat. Jan to December, our markets were flat. In fact, mid caps and small caps gave negative returns, whereas even in the same year, US markets gave something like close to 20%. There are some indices which gave even higher returns than that. So very, very clearly, the foremost point is that there is a very strong case for you to diversify. This is number one. Second is, you also probably could get benefited from the currency movements. Now, what do I mean by that? So obviously, when you're investing, for example, in US, you're investing in US dollar. So if US dollar appreciates, rather if Indian currency depreciates, and generally that's what happens, because we are a developing economy, there is an interest rate differential. So currency on an average tends to depreciate by 2.5% every year. Last year has been an exception. In fact, our currency has depreciated by 10% when compared to the US dollar. So on one hand, you got nearly 20% difference from market. Second, you also got nearly 10% positive impact because the dollar appreciated. So combined, you're talking about something like 30%. So that's the second advantage that you're investing into. You're getting from currency into some of the world-class global companies. Some of them innovate using cutting-edge technology, and some of these companies, the likes of some of these companies, you may not get to invest into Amazon, Facebook, Netflix, and Microsoft. So you don't have those kind of companies in India. Large format retail, for example, Walmarts, and those kind of companies. So there again, you get to participate in a very different type of market altogether. So those are the three advantages. One, by investing into a different market, you can get benefited. The diversification, correlations being different, that's a big benefit. Currency can be a tailwind at a lot of times, and you get to participate into companies, global world class kind of companies. So that's largely the benefit of international funds. So in my view, any investor should consider investing at least 10, 15, if not more. Ideally would be about 15 to 20%. So obviously, all said and done, if Indian equity markets have to do well globally, especially economies and markets like US will have to do well. To that extent, you will have comparisons, you will have similarity, but oftentimes those markets can do very differently and probably much better as well. So my advice is for you to seriously consider investing into these kind of products. That's number one. Now coming back to the current environment and what is happening right now. So obviously this COVID environment has been a global epidemic. All countries have got impacted, although in various proportions. In fact, the US has been the most hard hit. Having said that, the responses of the various central banks to this pandemic also has been very large, and there the large economies like US, Europe, Japan, etc., their response to this pandemic has been a very, very large, and the kind of stimulus they have taken is extremely huge. Just to give you a kind of number there, US, even before they locked down their economy way back in March 27th itself, they came out with this what they call as CARES Act, CARES Act, which is Coronavirus Aid, Relief, Economic and Security Act. That envisaged, it's an 800-page document. It envisaged a $2 trillion kind of package, which is very, very huge. And this was cutting across various segments of the market. Be it individuals, small businesses, large formats, healthcare, education, and it even put almost $1,200 as cash at the hands of individuals. So very, very large. Japan, on the other hand, to start with, they gave a big stimulus, and on May 27th, again, they've come out with a supplementary budget. So put together, the support is nearly 40% of their GDP. So very, very large, and which is understandable. They are developed market, they have deep pockets, and whenever some crisis like this happens, they can afford to respond very, very sharply, and that's exactly what they have done. Consequently, the markets actually have completely recovered. In fact, they've had a V-shaped recovery. In fact, most of these markets are almost trading at their historic high, or somewhere close to it. So that's the kind of response we've seen, which is not the case with many developing economies, especially India. We still off while nearly 42,000 to Sensex was the peak level. Today we're still around that 33, 34,000 kind of levels. So we still have a long way to go, which is not the case in developed markets, thanks to the large stimulus that they have taken. Obviously, economic impact is going to be large, and it's going to take some time to play out. But markets per se could be a different animal altogether. A couple of reasons. One, they tend to be forward-looking. So that the pandemic is affected. That's a known fact. But then, having taken all these measures and, going forward, how can things improve and so on and so forth is what markets will look at. That's number one. Second, while the economy, the components, the composition can be very different. It could consist of agriculture. It could consist of a lot of, smaller businesses. It could be fragmented, unorganized, and so on and so forth. When you're talking about markets, essentially you're talking about, very, very large businesses who can actually benefit. Let me give you an example. In US, for example, their market S&P 500, out of 500 companies, the top 5 companies, which are Amazon, Microsoft, your Facebook, your Apple, and these kind of companies account for nearly 20% of their market cap. And these companies actually have done very well. For example, Amazon in the last 1 year has gone up by 29%. Microsoft has gone up by nearly 19%. So, in fact, they're up very, very significantly. And I'm sure all these companies that I mentioned, you'd be using far higher than what you used to do before, whether it's Netflix or Facebook, Alphabet, Google's parent. So so they actually get benefited from this kind of environment, probably much more. And markets in a way represent that. Large companies, and they actually do tend to do very well, and during crisis they actually gain market share. They're in a position to bring in a lot of efficiencies, and that kind of helps market. So economy and market movement can be quite different. We should not be under the impression that economic growth is down, GDP is down, and therefore markets will continue to be that. There could be a lot of factors which could be working for the markets. Like I said, the liquidity, the very, very low interest rate, which will mean that the cost for many of these companies could be low, and the strong nature of the companies themselves, be it their balance sheet, be it their efficiencies, all of that can kind of come in very, very handy. So that's what we need to keep in mind. So as far as risk is concerned, obviously we may not have as much understanding about these markets when compared to some of the, at least the domestic market. To that extent, that's why I'm recommending that you keep a small portion, maybe 10, 15, at best probably 20%. And my advice would be that you look at, to start with, at least only the developed markets like the US, Europe, or Japan, like something which invest into Brazil, something into China, something into some Asian countries, and so on and so forth. My advice to you would be at least to start with, look at the likes of US, Europe, Japan, etc., where you can be reasonably confident that better, and you could have advantage of currency movement, and some of the world class companies anyway are based out of these larger economies. So thank you very much for listening in. Hope you found this quite useful. Very, very glad talking to you. Thank you very much.
Mutual fund investments are subject to market risks. Read all scheme related documents carefully.